So actually, I have done lot of mistakes. I'm reviewing my code actually. If you remember, we have repeatedly like saying the database exception, right? Like whenever we just restarted the application after first time, it just throwing some exception, file is not a database, file is corrupted or something like that, right? So I tried to run on my real device that you are seeing on the phone, that is my real device. So I've tried on this also. So I'm getting repeatedly that thing. So I have done started like reviewing the code. What's the issue? What's the issue? So finally I have found 2 3 issues here. So firstly, if you just check your code, I have just like before we are not saving our password, like we are generating new password but we are not saving password to our flutter secure storage. Okay, so whenever you generate any password, if your password comes null, you generate the password, then you have to store it also. Okay, you have to store it also. So next time whenever we trigger this function, we used to use the same password so we can unlock that database file. Otherwise it will repeatedly says database exception, data file is corrupted, database not a database or something else. Okay, so now how you so other another issue I found is that in here, if you can see, we are triggering two functions, right? And we are not waiting for any of the function. Like if the all functions listed here will when give success response, then we'll get on 10. Otherwise, if any out of this function throws exception, we got on error. So what will trigger? It repeatedly triggers both the functions repeated, like it repeatedly triggering this, like it triggers this one if the app first time installs, if trigger this function, then it generate, because at that we are not saving password. Even if we are saving the password, it just triggered the first time we are saying. Okay, so first time when this function triggers, it didn't find any like password, right? It generates and just create a file, right? When this function triggers, it's not waiting here, so simultaneously it triggers, and this function also didn't find any database file or password or something like that, right? So it will generate a password for the same path of file we are, because path is same, right? File name path is same, but password is different, so it recreates the or regenerates the password for that. Okay, and whenever we just reopen it, we are not able to access the file. Why so? Because we are changing the password repeatedly. Okay, that creates much issues, lot of issues. So what I have done here, I have do one thing. I have this initial database function I have created in our database folder also. Like in our database helper class, I have created this function here also and triggering it before we are calling this. And this exception and this function will not throw any exception, it just print that exception. Okay, so because there is very low chance of getting exceptions, that's why. Okay, so we just it will catch and print this exception. Okay, so whenever the file is generated, then we'll trigger it, because then now it will just running the function, like it just access the database file and just running the select query or transactions, like triggering the SQL queries, right? So it will not affect. But firstly it generates the file properly, creates the password and save it there, then we don't have any issue. We can just trigger and as much as queries as we want to, it will not have any issue here. See, I'll just go home, categories, settings. Okay, now in the last video we have discussed like we'll create some like we can have some filter category or search category screen, right? Or search transactions also, right? Like if we just click on any of the date, if we click any of the date, we can just directly move to that date of transactions here, right? So we see, as we are following the proper architecture, we reuse this screen. Okay, we reuse this screen, we reuse this screen. Okay, we'll reuse these two screens. Okay, but before using, we have to make them scaffold. Before that, we are just creating the list view, right? This is the scaffold, and we have just created a single like list view or something like that. So I have make it dependent, all these screens are independent to each other, no screen is interrelated to each other. So how I have done, I have just remove the providers and everything. Okay, I have created their own scaffold, I have created their reference and creating the providers and everything and triggering the function here. If I am on this screen, it will trigger this function. It is not dependent on any of that. And I have created scaffold and just body, and we have, and also make sure that whenever you just showing the loader, make sure you just add the ready also. Okay, because there is might a issue, like firstly we just start our state with the ready state, right? After that we are comes to trigger with the loading and then functions loading. Okay, so that's why add the ready also here. So it will firstly it shows a loader, and then if any transaction not found, any items not found in the list, then it will show an empty message, otherwise it will show a list. Okay, so make sure add a ready also. If the state is in ready mode also, will show a loader. Okay, so same thing I have done in all other screens also, you can see here. Okay, and also I have created a separate class for our listeners. See, I have created a listeners and created a static function for our listeners. If we want like for create, we should have different. So I have added a boolean, and based on that I am handling here. For category we have two conditions here, so I have added that also. Okay, so this is how I have just separated all the files to all the classes to a different, and also I have make sure to also I have added that filter bottom sheet also separate. Like, see, if I just go to dashboard page, here you can see I have just directly I have created a filter normal bottom sheet, and I have passed a parameter of child where we just pass the child. Okay, now we will use that widget dashboard filter here. I have passed the reference and creating here. Okay, so we have reused these components here, and now we can trigger it based on our requirements, right? Same thing is for others also. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you can just let me know. Also, when I'll complete this course, I'll also provide a GitHub link for the code, so you can better understand it. It's not a big issue. I have just created the scaffold only. Okay, I have just created the separate screen, independent screens, nothing else. We are like before we used to have a list view, but now I have created scaffold for every screen. And make sure your home page doesn't have this scaffold, should not have any app bar, otherwise it will overlap. Like you will see the two app bars, one is that upper one, that is home page, and then you will see another app bar which is this next to the dashboard in a column form. So don't add any app bar to this scaffold, only the body and some basic parameters and bottom navigation bar, and this is our. And also I have increased and changed some positions also, you can just check out the numbers. Okay, so you can modify it accordingly based on your phone screen size and everything. Okay, so we'll use dynamic only. Okay, so hope you will better understand what I'm trying to say. So we have done some basic fixes here, right? So also you can see like we have now list of transactions and it is working very fine. Also yeah, also this thing please notice here, like I have like in the previous video when we have done the pagination thing, you can see like load that's this loader is not showing, right? So what I have done, I have nothing, just I'll just my parent child is lazy load scroll view, child is our refresh indicator, and that we have a list view. Okay, I have just make the parent child as lazy load and child is refresh indicator, that's it. So both are working perfectly, both are working perfectly. Okay, both are working perfectly. So we can just add a filter, as I didn't edit the filter yet, but yeah, we can add the filter to our transaction list also. You will do it on your own. Okay, if you find any issue, just let me know. Okay, here when we click in this, now as of now you can see that it's a drop down, but when user clicks on it, there is a separate screen for our category list. Okay, and there user can easily filter out. I'll just make it a text form field. copy and just add it here, and we will not have a dashboard here. Okay, selected category is equal to await navigator dot push context category list. Okay, I didn't created any um, I guess I didn't created okay, I didn't created any route here. Let me create one route, or I'll create one page. Okay, I'll create one page. Category list, and we can just move out to this one. Move. Okay, and I'll category page dot dot. I'll board material dot dot. We have a stateless class category list page, and we have a dynamic. Uh, so we'll add it here. Okay, and I'll create here also final bool. I guess we don't need listener. Uh, wait. So you can see here, if I just click on it and I just, what's the, how it getting the value? Great. Let me just controller, and we have to pass some controller, huh? Uh, let me, if I remove it, yeah. So as of now, I have removed it. Okay, so we can test it. So you can see it is an empty, and if I'll just click on it, it's showing the categories page, right? So now if I just, okay, I have to stop it also. Hmm. P bottom sheet, and we have some like pop scope here. Pop scope child can pop false. Okay, so what we will do, we'll just try to, yeah, so we'll just click on it. Yeah, you can see. Now we'll add some, uh, on tap method here. On tap, if from dashboard, we will have a navigator dot pop context and item. Okay, any item you will select here will get to pop back. And what we will do, we will create a function here. Let me just open that category provider. This didn't triggered anywhere, so I'll just trigger it. Category provider dot update selected category, and we'll add a selected category here. Okay, so if we have, then we'll just do one thing here. I'll I'll use this controller. Mm, or we can just, mm, we can just have a controller. Okay, it needs a controller. I'll make it a read only. True. Okay, it doesn't have, add a parameter. Yeah, it has a parameter, right? So it should show. Okay, yeah, it's a read only parameter, and we need one controller. So I'll create one controller here. Late text editing controller, filter category controller, filter selected category controller. Okay, and I'll text editing controller, and I'll just add a copy bool, bool, and this if else. Copy, paste. We can just add a here, copy dot text is equal to category dot category name, and I'll just hot restart the app. Controller category provider dot category filter selected category controller. Okay, state I guess we don't need as of now. Now if I'll just click on it and click on it, I'll just select groceries. So you can see groceries, freelance, freelance, and that suffix icon should be removed. And what will do the reset one? Yeah, filter dashboard, and we should only one controller is there, right? So void reset widgets, and I'll make it clear and also make it null. Null. Copy, paste, category provider. Okay, category provider. Okay, so we have the data, right? So we can just hot restart the app and check whether it is working or not. I guess I have added here a dashboard page. Hmm. So if I just click on it, groceries, search, then yeah, add any cost. Yeah, that's why I didn't show it because I didn't add any cost amount, right? When we do it in a formal way, like when we do dynamic, like when we perform manually, like we just add a transaction and something, then we have a cost amount parameter, we'll add some, right? So we'll handle it accordingly. So um we now it looks fine according to me. Okay, we can do one thing here, we can do one thing here, close category, database helper implementation. Yeah, so I'll one thing I'll do here, Or we can do one thing more. We can just go to our create. Okay, we'll do when we are just editing the category. Okay, we'll do that thing. Or we can do go to our create transaction page or body. Yeah. So here I have added some code here. Yeah. So I have we need here. So we will do same thing here also. We will add the same code here also. Filter bottom sheet. Sorry, we have a dashboard filter page. Yeah. So we will just copy. Okay. So I'll just add a quick. Okay. And we don't need this, right? On tab we just need this copy, and I'll just paste it here. Selected category. Okay. And I guess now we don't need that create one, but we are showing here. Okay. I guess now it works. See, if I just click on add new transaction, you can see, and if I click on it, here you can see here. I'll just click on healthcare. You can see healthcare. If I just click on groceries, you can. So now we have to do only one thing here. When we are adding transaction, we have to add here, right? So Okay. So I have, so rather than I'll just do one thing here. Uh, I need actually provider also. Category provider. Okay. Category provider. Okay guys, so we'll do in the next video. Okay, we have to do edit category and edit category, so that makes video more longer. So I'm ending the video here, and we'll meet in the next video where we just create and where we just add the transaction goes to particular category. Like if you can see here, uh, yeah, so we will add the transaction amount to this param. Okay, we'll update our category total expense here based on the category we are selected here in add transaction. Okay, if we are income, that doesn't affect anything, but if it's an expense, then we'll add here. Okay, so we'll meet in the next video. Bye bye.